It's episode 77 of Pinnacle FC. Gareth Wheeler, Jake Osgathorpe. There he goes. Jake Osgathorpe with you. It's the perfect weekend to get stuck in to the football markets this weekend. It's the week before Super Bowl, so get primed, get ready. So go from football to American football. It's an easy transition. And maybe next week on the Pinnacle FC podcast, episode 78, we'll get Jake to dig into his Super Bowl picks and plays. I love switching it up a little bit.
Yeah, we had a little chat, didn't we, after our Monday record? And let's just say we might be having a head-to-head on the Super Bowl as well.
I know, which inevitably doesn't work out for yours truly. Champions League now in the rearview mirror. We're recording this on Thursday. What did you make of the final day? 18 games simultaneously.
Oh, it was excellent. It was really good. I expected there to be a lot of goals. There were a lot of goals, but we were a couple of goals shy on my sevenfold parlay, which, yeah, that would have been a nice one to hit. But yeah, absolutely mental. And what a way to round it off as well, with the Benfica-Real Madrid game running 5 minutes later than everything else. And then the Benfica goalkeeper lying on the ball, not realising they needed another goal to qualify, and Mourinho making defensive subs, and then Rui Costa in the director's box saying, "No, get the ball forward, we need a goal." And then the flipping keeper going and scoring it. It's unbelievable.
Wild
So
scenes. As someone that was backing Real Madrid, the way that finished, although losing my bet, I wasn't all that bothered by the way that it all played out. And
Me too.
And the result, because Real Madrid didn't go and score a goal, they're outside the top 8.
They need,
so I mean, it was consequential to the end, both in the top 8 as well as qualifying. I love a side like Bodo Glimt. They deserve to go on and make it through, just the way that they played football throughout this. I think they were great stories, and I keep on reading just particularly British writers just going on and whining and moaning about the competition, that it's this, it's that, like everything negative. I think it's entirely positive. The old way about doing things in the Champions League, like these group stages, were non-events. I felt like, the model may be imperfect, but I just thought that it was box office in the end, week in, week out. There was something to get stuck into, and I just look at things a completely different way.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I don't think the consensus over here is that it's bad. I think the consensus is that it's a lot of fun, and I think it's an improvement. I think most people over here think it's an improvement on the old group stage. I can sort of understand where most people are coming from, because you've got 2 extra games in there, which teams could do without nowadays, given the stacked schedule, and you've got the English teams have just got such bigger squads than everyone else that. Because of the money, they've got a great chance of finishing in the top 8, and that's ultimately what happened, didn't it? With 5 of the 6 finishing in the top 8. So, I love it. I think it's great. I'd like seeing different matchups every year.
We will see who's left standing at the end. It's a little bit of a luck of the draw, who you get, how that plays out. But you need to win the games as they come about. Doesn't matter who you play. You need to go out and come away with results. We're back to domestic football this weekend. We're going to provide you our picks and plays across the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, and Jake's going to France today in Liga on this podcast. Remember, Bet Smart, Bet Pinnacle, all of the markets that we used, a lot of them best in industry. The best number you can get is courtesy of Pinnacle. So we're about to delve in. Let's go to the Premier League this weekend. I'm not sure how you feel about the slate. I think I'm barking with a lot of dogs this weekend. I think there's some value to be had in some of the underdogs in these games. So I'll give the floor to you. I'm curious to think if you think that Manchester United's going to keep lighting the world ablaze after the last 2 weeks. It's a hard swerve, Manchester United Fulham for me. I'm still waiting to see, but I'm wondering what may have caught your eye here this weekend in the Prem.
Yeah, I'm hoping one of the dogs that you like are Newcastle at Liverpool.
I do.
because I have the same play. I think the handicap is at least a quarter of a goal too high. So you get Newcastle plus 3/4 of a goal at -115. And yeah, off the back of midweek, you'd think Liverpool have a nice easy 6-0 win at home, not had to travel. Newcastle a taxing 1-1 draw in France. But Liverpool suffered some more injuries, and their back line is ravaged at the moment. So Gomez is touch and go. I think he's more likely to miss than play. Frimpong picked up an injury last on Wednesday. Konate's out. Conor Bradley's out. So you're looking at a makeshift back line. Probably Gravenberch centre back, Endo right back, and Newcastle.
Maybe Szoboszlai there.
I don't think he'd want to take Szoboszlai out of the heart of the midfield, especially given how strong Newcastle are in the midfield area. So, yeah, it's going to be difficult for them to contain Newcastle. And Newcastle, they'll be buoyed by that midweek game. I mean, they played really well. It was one of their better away performances for 2-3 years, you'd have to say. They've been really poor on the travels. And, I think it's a good spot for them to try and get back. And, again, there's a 6-0 win over Karabakh kind of papers over the cracks a little bit. The Liverpool, they're really struggling to put teams away. So even at home, I mean, draws with Leeds, with Burnley, losing in last minute to Bournemouth last week. I mean, Newcastle are a team that are a level above those. And if they bring anywhere near their A game, they can at least go there and avoid defeat, maybe even nick a win.
Well, the markets completely agree with you. It's shifted out from 3/4 of a goal at -123, where things stand, or -115. It's now at -123. The handicap on Pinnacle's now shifted out to half a goal at +107, but I'd still make that play. I might keep my play at 3/4 of a goal, just a little bit of insurance at -123. It's still playable for me. Remember the last time that these two sides played at Newcastle, I mean, Newcastle ran Liverpool off the pitch. They just couldn't stick with the legs and the energy and what Newcastle brought to the table. And Liverpool, you mentioned it, some of their struggles. Lost to Bournemouth last week. The XG in that game, Bournemouth 3.31 to just 0.94 for Liverpool in that game. They drew Burnley before that. They're without a win in the Premier League in 5. And most concerning for Liverpool is Anfield hasn't been that typical fortress. They're only the 8th best in the Premier League in terms of expected point total, courtesy of Understat. So, yeah, I thought that, Dan Burn came back into the team, some more options for Eddie Howe. You might not love the player, but he's really effective playing Eddie Howe football, and he had some size and wherewithal within that team. And I think they're much better equipped to just in terms of having reinforcements, particularly due to Liverpool's issues at the back. Good to back the away side. Newcastle away at Anfield. Who would have thought it? But yeah, I'm completely with you on that. Where else are you looking?
I'm gonna look at Arsenal's trip to Leeds as well. I wouldn't be a fool.
Gonna back the dog?
No, I'm not. I'm not barking at the dog. No, I am. I'm going to back them in some way, shape, or form, which is to back them to score, because both teams to score is priced at +104. That rhymes, and I think this. I think it's a great bet. I mean, Arsenal, that defensive solidity they had at the start of the season is wilted away now, and they've become a little bit shaky. They've conceded a lot of goals recently, and both teams to score has in fact landed in 9 of their last 11 in all competitions. I mean, Kairat Almaty managed to score twice in midweek. I know that Arsenal played a second string, but Kairat Almaty are ranked nearly 500th in the world in terms of power rank.
That second string is a very good team.
Oh, it's really good.
That's not a typical second string team, and you'd expect that Arsenal team to do a little bit more damage than that.
You got Martinelli, Madueke, Gyökeres, and Havertz as your front four.
Yeah, and Eze and Calafiore, the team was still loaded.
Exactly. But yeah, they're creating enough to score. They're not keeping teams out, and yeah, I do think the pressure's getting to them a little bit. I mean, it looked that way against Manchester United, the way in which they got back to 2-2, and then I'm sick of them just going so defensive. I really am. The four subs that he made last week were so negative. He could have really gone for it and just gone kitchen sink, get Martinelli, Madueke, Havertz, get them all on the pitch, see what happens. But anyway, by the by, Leeds are a good attacking side. They're scoring a lot of goals, they're creating a lot of chances, but also can't keep them out. Both teams to score landed in 16 of Leeds' last 20, 8 of 9 at home. and in Arsenal's 7 of the last 10 away games as well. So this is a bet that's happened very regularly in recent matches for both of these teams. And plus money, I thought was a little bit priced incorrect. I'd have it around the -115 mark.
I'll just back Leeds on the handicap. A full goal at -103. First off, Leeds are an excellent home side. And they have been since the start of the season 5-4-2. Then the 6th best expected point total at home. Arsenal, you mentioned it. They've been vulnerable. They've only won. I say only because it's Arsenal, the best squad in the Premier League. They've only won 6 out of their 11 away trips in the Premier League and only scored 14 goals in those 11 games. This is part and parcel to the conservative nature of Mikel Arteta, and we've been saying this all season long. If they don't win the Premier League, it is completely on the manager. And away from home, they've only won one of those 6 games by more than a goal. And that was 2-0 away to Burnley. These are just all very tight, cagey matchups. So I think this plays into Leeds' hands. Also, Arsenal has a second leg EFL Cup match against Chelsea midweek where they're leading 3-2 on aggregate, but there's still something to play for there. And I think that the pressure is now on Arsenal to go out and perform. Now supporters, the players on the field, their reactions, their body language, there's a little bit of anxiety there. So
it's worrying, isn't it?
If
you have an Arsenal future, you're very worried right now.
So Ellen Road is not the place that you want to go. The crowd's going to be right up for it. They need points. I think a draw would be a brilliant result for Leeds, and it wouldn't settle or solve anything for Arsenal either. So let's back the home side. What are the many dogs this week? Okay, what else? Come on, let's go. Pick your dog, Jake. Let's go.
No, I've not got a dog. Any more dogs left? I've only got 2 in my pound. But yeah, I only have one more bet in the Prem. I didn't like the slate too much this week. The one bet that I did like, I was surprised the line was so low, was actually a bookings bet in Villa versus Brentford. So you get over 4 bookings at -116. So if there's 4 or more, you get your money back. 5 or more, you get a winner. And it's simply because of the refereeing appointment here. You've got Tim Robinson in charge, who's averaged 5.4 cards per game in the Premier League this season. Then you factor in the card drawing capabilities of some of the Brentford players, Kevin Schade, Igor Thiago, some of the Villa players, Morgan Rogers.
Brilliant. Tim Robinson, the comedian. That's all I can think about. Not the referee. Sorry, he's brilliant.
That would be funny if he rocked up at Villa Park.
Starts throwing out brandishing cards.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'd be surprised if this one is a low card game. I mean, these 2 teams are going great guns, aren't they? Villa are pushing for the title. I mean, they're not far away from Arsenal. Brentford are pushing for European football, and if you remember back to last season, these 2 played out a game at the G-Tech, and there was a hell of a lot of needle, with a late red card brandished. I think I'm trying to remember who it was now. It was no, not that game. I'm pretty sure it was Emi Martinez, or maybe it was 2 seasons ago. Either way, no, it was March last year. Sorry, this is not a very good podcast material, is it? But anyway, I'll continue.
You're debating with yourself. Where's Tim Robinson when you need him?
6 yellow cards there were, and there was a late red card as well. So, these 2 teams got a little bit of history, a little bit of niggling. I think that's a good matchup for cards and a good referee.
I think it's a good matchup for goals as well. Let's spark with another dog here. Let's go with Brentford. Half a goal in the handicap at -110. I like Brentford on the team total to score over a goal and a half at +196, as well as over the total in this game overall at 2.75. This is a little bit worrying for Aston Villa, dealing with cluster injuries in their midfield. Yuri Tielemans is the latest player to go out. He's been so important to this team. So you have Kamara gone for the season, McGinn's out, Tielemans is out, so you're left with Onana and Bogard, I believe. It's very thin.
Douglas Luiz this time back, haven't they?
Right. Does he come
But
straight back into the team?
I don't
He
know.
hasn't been playing much. I just think that's a worry, especially when Aston Villa is also playing on Thursday in the Europa League. Brentford are the biggest underachievers away from home um, in terms of their point total to their expected point total. It's almost seven. Like their point total is almost seven less than what their expected point total away. Meanwhile, Aston Villa at home have been riding their luck. They're over nine. They have over nine more points at home than their expected point total. So something's got to give. Brentford's had a difficult run of games, and they've come out on the short end. But every game they're in it. Like and they look very much the part. So based on context, I think that Brentford can at the very least keep this close, and I think there's some goals in this one. So that's another dog I'll back. I guess I'll just carry on here.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's back Everton at Brighton. Brighton's like a little bit of a frustrating team to watch. You never have quite the feel, but the fact that you're getting a half goal with Everton at even money, that's something that I'll get involved with. They have all of their options at the back readily available now. I know that they're missing Grealish, but Njai is being fantastic, and he can come just right back into this team. And then they've only lost one of their last six games. So just a small look play here. Nothing too big there, but that was another game that caught the eye. West Ham, Chelsea. We had this discussion earlier in the week. Are West Ham a good team? Because now all of a sudden, after the low of getting thrashed 3-0 at Wolves, they've responded in the Premier League with back-to-back wins, creating big XG against both Sunderland and Spurs. They haven't had a clean sheet in 21 overall, but man, this team looks much more accomplished, much more fluid in terms of their attacking football. They take on Chelsea, who are coming back from Napoli, a little bit of a slugfest against Antonio Conte's side midweek. They have Arsenal coming up in the Cup next week as well. And with West Ham, you can get a full goal on the handicap here. Against the Chelsea side, I still think they're getting their sea legs to a certain degree under their new manager. Plus 104, I don't mind. If you want to take the goal total, because historically between these teams, it's goal fest. Both teams score and over 2.5 goals at plus 105 is also worth a look. Shall I continue? Because do not reset your dials. Do not refresh your screen
Don't
or
say
the
Tottenham.
podcast. Spurs against
No.
City. Yeah,
No.
you can go all you want. Spurs just play well against Man City each and every time. They've won 3 of their last 4 head-to-head. And I know that this Spurs team is pretty gash, but City, they're not giving anyone reason to believe that they're a side worth backing right now. And even poor Spurs sides in the past have done well. You're getting 3/4 of goal at plus 107 to back Spurs in this match against City. I mean, you have to at the very least give it a look. It's not going to make my board, but Spurs at home to City. Yeah, I'm fine making a pro Spurs play here. Why were you so dramatic there?
I wouldn't back Tottenham against my Sunday League team at the minute.
Come on.
No, they're so untrustworthy. You think that they've
I
turned a
know
corner and they have a good run in the Champions League against a favourable schedule, and then they go and play Burnley and need a last minute equaliser.
It's not. Yeah, it's not that. By the way, City also play Wednesday in the EFL Cup as well. I just don't think that anything is easy here for Man City. So, and Spurs, they regularly come up with results. And I think if Van de Ven's coming back into this team this week, then I'll be making a pro Spurs play. So
You are a brave man. I would not trust Spurs with anything.
Well, okay. Last one of my dogs. These are all
You've got a full dog
underdog
pound. What's
bets.
going on?
Yeah. Let's back Crystal Palace. Half a
I
goal
don't
at Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Minus 111. Forest play in the Europa League on Thursday. And at home, they've been terrible. Forest have the 4th worst expected point total away from home. Crystal Palace, I know that they've had these disruptions, Margay leaving, the Glasner stuff, but they're still okay. Like, there's no reason that they should be a half a goal underdog at Nottingham Forest this week. So I'm betting the number more this side. By the way, Munoz is back into the team. He helps out significantly to what they're trying to do. And yeah, Mateta is still there. I believe they're signing Strand Larson, which will be for a future date, but I think they're going to be okay. And thinking that Palace, they can go to Forest and come away with a draw. Like, I think there's some real value there at -111. So 7 dogs that are worthy to back, in my opinion, in the Premier League this weekend.
Yeah, I don't mind all of them. The only one I do mind is Tottenham.
Spurs.
Yeah. I see the logic. The head-to-head record and the style of play definitely is suited against Man City, but I can't trust Spurs. They've got the second worst home record in the entire league, and
I get it.
But at the same time, City are very inconsistent.
This is their Super Bowl. City. This is what they show up.
Doesn't matter what we do all season, as long as we beat Manchester City, we're fine.
They beat them this season already. I think they beat City 2-0 in the first meeting.
They did, yeah.
This season, and that was Thomas Frank, and that was away from home against probably a better City side than we're seeing now. Spurs. I can't believe I'm saying it. I need to bite my lip, but Spurs, Pinnacle loves putting up the clips and me bashing Spurs. It's all over the place, and all my Spurs friends are like, "Oh, I'd love to disagree with you, but you're right. They know it too. But this is City. This is it this weekend. So, all right, let's go to La Liga.
Yeah, I like a fair bit on the slate. Starting with the Friday game, I thought the goal total was really low for Espanyol versus Alaves. Mainly because Espanyol, they've come out of the winter break and they've been a completely different team. Really, they were top 4 contenders. They were challenging for European football. They're still in and around there, but they've been really poor in those 4 matches since. They've conceded 8 goals, 8.7 expected goals. Yet to win any of those. And we know that they have the attacking firepower to hurt any team on their day. 15 of their 21 games have seen at least 2 goals this season, which is where the line's set. The line's set at 2. So if it's a 1-1 or a 2-0, we get our money back. Any more than that, we get a win. 8 of their 11 home games have seen over 1.5 goals, so 2 goals as well. And Alaves, they've been quite goal heavy of late. 6 of their 8 have seen at least 2 goals, and their games this season averaging 2.7 expected goals. So I thought the goal line here of 2 was about a quarter of a goal too low, and I'm more than happy to play that with stakes returned if there's 2 goals exactly.
Okay. What else? Carry on. Nothing for me. I had a hard look at Espanyol, but they've been rather untrustworthy for me in recent weeks.
Definitely, yeah. I'm got a little bit burnt last week with Girona, but I think we have to go back in again.
It's one of the best bets of the week here. Let's go.
Completely agree. Yeah, draw no bet at even money. That was the game that jumped off the page really on the Pinnacle side. Just the fact that they're outsiders against Real Oviedo. I mean, Real Oviedo are terrible. 1 win in 10 home games. Worst team in the league. Full stop. All the major metrics has right down there.
They have 1 home goal scored. 1. Yep. That's it. So carry on. Sorry, I just wanted to point that out.
No, it's fine. We are both on this bet, it seems. So, Girona, they've won 3 away games in a row against Sociedad, Mallorca and Espanyol, who are all better teams than Oviedo. So, draw no bet, money back if it's all square. Yes, please.
That's it. I mean, Oviedo is rock bottom of the form table in La Liga over the last 12 games. 0 wins, 7 draws, and 5 losses. That's the only reason why I haven't backed Girona outright is the fact that they're drawing a lot of games. They're trying to keep things close. That's the only way forward. And Girona, by the way, are 4-1 in 1 of their last 6. So, I think that's self-explanatory there. What else? You have one other match that you like in La Liga?
Yes, Barcelona to win and both teams to score at Elche, plus 143. It is a biggish number, I think, but it is slightly risky because Elche have been one of the best home teams in the league this season. 5 wins, 5 draws, just 1 defeat. at home. They've held Atletico, they've held Real Madrid already. They've got the capacity to score goals, though. They've scored in 19 goals in 11 and failed to score in just one of the home matches. We all know Barcelona. We saw it in midweek again, didn't we, against Copenhagen? Conceding, was it 4-2 in the end? They conceded early and then went on a second half rampage.
I believe
to put
so.
the game away.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're coming off the back of they're Real Madrid are hot on their heels. They need wins, and the only way they get wins is by scoring a lot of goals, which leaves them exposed. So Barca win both teams to score. I think it's a nice way to get the Barca win price on side as opposed to a win to nil.
I know they don't have any money to spend, but at some point they just need to fix that. They need like just a big, strong, physical center back that can give them a little help. I know that their style of play is a little bit different.
They sold it to Saudi in the summer, didn't they?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one.
Same play, exactly the same. I was surprised it's at plus 143. It's a nice old number there. Two other mentions in La Liga. Valencia away are a nightmare. They're at Betis, back the home side at minus 113. Valencia 1-3-6 away from home. Only 7 goals scored in their away travels, and the third worst expected point total away from home. That's like a rinse repeat. Valencia, I just can't do it away from home. And one of the other one, it's kind of on similar level to Girona, but Getafe are on a terrible stretch right now, and they're at home to Celta Vigo, who are a decent side. Getafe 0-2-4 in their last 6. That's the worst. They have the worst record over that span in La Liga, and the third worst home expected point total overall. Celta Vigo 4-1-1 over their last 6 games, and the 5th best away metrics in terms of expected point total as well. You can get them at a draw no bet at minus 103. That's another one for me, just like the Girona game at Oviedo. Decent enough side taking on a really poor home side where you're getting some juice there and you have the insurance of making it a draw no bet. So I like both of those plays. I think 3 of those bets will make my big board inevitably at the end of this podcast, which means they'll be cursed. That's the way we roll here on Pinnacle FC. Serie A, what's going on in Italy this weekend?
Just the one bet for me. I'm going to back Como to beat Atalanta at plus 139.
Home side. They're a good home side, aren't they?
Very, very good home side. 6 wins in 10, but they've only lost once. Their defensive metrics have been propping up their home results, which 1 expected goal against per game. They're averaging around 1.9 expected goals for per game. And Atalanta, they're a bit of a weird team to get a read on. They've been really good in the league. I think they've won 4 of the last 5, but they were really poor in midweek in the Champions League when they had the opportunity to jump into the top 8 away at Union Saint-Gilloise. Como had a free week as well, which has to factor in here, and Atalanta just 3 away wins all season. They're not exactly the best travellers out there, and Como are one of the better home teams. And it looks to me as though they're going to be playing European football next season because they've been really consistent with the levels for quite some time now. And it really is just a case of what standard of European football. They're only 2 points behind Juventus, 3 behind Napoli, 3 behind Roma. So Champions League football for Cesc Fabregas' side is not out of the picture whatsoever. And a win here would pretty much, well, I don't want to get too carried away, but it would pretty much sort of cement them as a top 6 team. It would put 8 points between themselves and Atalanta, who are 7th, and it would really mean that, you don't really have to worry about a challenge from behind. So, they look a good price to me. I thought we'd see a little bit shorter.
I'll just give 3 mentions of games that I have an edge on, which I'm not going to make official plays. So Swallow at plus 160 to win, Cagliari at plus 130. They've really struggled at home, but they found some decent enough form, as well as Roma away at plus 103. I have edges there, but nothing official. I'm going to stick with 2 win to nils by the 2 defensive away sides of the best defensive sides in Serie A. Inter to win to nil. Away at Cremonese. Is it Cremonese? Yeah, it's at Cremonese. Sorry, I was just getting my games right. Cremonese has scored twice in their last 8 games. And Inter are the best side in terms of expected goals against away from home in Serie A. That's a recipe for success. Inter coming away with a clean sheet at Dortmund, by the way. That's a big result midweek. And this game, it's every point matters. Like the table's like really tight atop Serie A right now, and I think that Inter need to create a little bit of a buffer. Going away, playing against a side that's really struggling right now, is a good equation. So plus 111 for the draw no bet, and Juventus is the second best defensive side. By the way, they rotated a ton midweek, like in a draw against Monaco, like the game that was like the least eventful of all of them in the Champions League. Parma, they take on Parma, who are the second worst in terms of home expected goals. It's a side that really struggles at home. Juventus, an excellent side defensively. Now they have Bremer back in the team, plus 131. Spalletti has been a little bit pragmatic, so I like that as well. So Inter, win to nil, plus 111. Juventus, win to nil at plus 131. On to the Bundesliga. What's on your radar in Germany this weekend?
I like Leverkusen at Frankfurt. No surprise there. Frankfurt are on a miserable run of form, aren't they? 1 win in 12, 7 defeats, 30 goals conceded. They've conceded multiple goals in 9 of those 12. And I think that's might be the best bet here. Leverkusen team total over 1.5 goals at minus 115. I wouldn't put anybody off backing them straight win at plus 128 either. They've had a little wobble, lost 3 straight to Stuttgart, Hoffenheim and Olympiacos, but back-to-back wins since, and away from home won 7 of the last 11 in all competitions. So, I've definitely taken a pro Leverkusen stance. Just depends on which way around you want to do it. Do you want to take the straight win at a plus number, or the 2 or more goals and take the result out of the equation at minus 150?
Okay. Is that your only play this week?
No, I have a lean towards Hoffenheim to beat Union Berlin at minus 124. That one. Is a bigger number than I was expecting. Slightly hesitant because Union Berlin have been a very good away team. They've lost 4 of 9, so they've avoided defeat more often than not. But Hoffenheim, they lost the first 3 home games in the league season, and then they've won 6 straight since. And the data in those 6 wins has been phenomenal. 2.5 expected goals for, 1.1 expected goals against. That is utter domination. And in that time, they've turned over Leipzig, Gladbach, and Leverkusen as well. So not just playing your St. Pauli's, your Heidenheims. They've played some good teams and beaten them handily. So, Hoffenheim to win at minus 124. I did think it'd be a lot shorter.
Hoffenheim is becoming this year's Mainz, just a team that the market, I don't think, is caught up to how good they are. They're third place in the Bundesliga right now. And you're right, Union Berlin has come away with some really good results, but Hoffenheim are turning into a little bit of a wagon in the Bundesliga. And from where I sit, and I watch a lot of Bundesliga, look to be the second best team right now, just in terms of form and quality. The team that's the best, it shouldn't surprise anyone, Bayern Munich, went to PSV. I mean, I guess Vincent Kompany rotated a little bit. I mean, Harry Kane didn't play, but when you're playing Musiala, Diaz, they're just so loaded at every position. The only weak position is their fullbacks. But let's go a Wheeler special here. Okay, they lost last week to Augsburg. 2 Wheeler specials cashed last week. Bayern Munich. Okay, this is the bet. Over 2.5 goals. Both teams to score. No, they're at Hamburg in the late fixture on Saturday at plus 366. Let's go. I don't mind Bayern Munich. Win to nil. Just risk it. Their team total is in a bettable state as well. It might be the best bet of them all. Over 2.5 goals scored for Bayern Munich. I mean, it's table stakes. They score 3 at minus 127. So that's a bettable range for me. And arguably, after Bayern Munich Bayern Munich's lost at least. I love betting RB Leipzig at home. They're kind of like the Atletico Madrid of the Bundesliga. You can get them at -1, so a full goal on the handicap at minus 109 as they take on Mainz, a team that is struggling mightily right now in the Bundesliga. All right, that's all for me. Jake, take it away. What is catching your attention in Ligue 1 this weekend?
Yeah, I really like the look of Lyon this week. They've got a game against Lille. They're at home. They're minus 111 to win. They are flying at the moment. 8 straight wins, all competitions. Lille going the other way, 5 straight defeats, conceded multiple goals in all 5, including a recent meeting with Lyon. Lyon get the luxury of rotation as well. They've got a nice, easy Europa League game, given that they're already qualified as a top 8. Lille have a must-win game against Freiburg, and they're also missing a number of key players, Igmane, Bentaleb, Meunier and Bruno Andre, all missing. So Lyon to win at -111. Also have a little bet on Lyon -1.5 on the handicap at +252.
Brilliant. All right, straight to the big board we go. What's making your board this week? 5 units to play with, Jake.
I'm going to go a unit on Barca to win and both teams to score at +143, a unit on both teams to score in Leeds versus Arsenal, a unit on over 4 bookings at -116, and then I'm going to do a unit and a half on Lyon to beat Lille and half a unit on Lyon -1.5 handicap against Lille as well at +252.
Wow, look at that. Splashing some cash in France. For me, a unit on 5 plays, Newcastle. Let's go on 3/4 of a goal plus a 0.75 at -123 at Liverpool. Let's go with 3-pack in Spain. Girona, draw no bet at even money. Both teams to score and Barcelona to win at +143, following Jake there. And Celta Vigo on the draw no bet, the 0 handicap at -103 at Getafe. And let's wrap things up with Juventus win to 0 at Parma. They already beat them 2-0 this year. A man down in that match as well, +131. You can follow our picks and plays across Pinnacle's social media accounts. Get involved on Reddit as well, and the subreddit page, Pinnacle Sportsbook. We'll be back next week. On behalf of Jake and everyone here at Pinnacle, I am Gareth Wheeler, and this has been episode 77 of Pinnacle FC.